Cold Spring. Second semifinal just underway, and the Cold Spring Eagles get the leadoff batter on Cole Bells. It'll be an E1. The ball was mishandled by pitcher Jonah Elkelberry for Fairview, so the Eagles get the leadoff runner on, as they'll have Cole Bells, Brody Bartlett, and Josh Winfrey. That's their first three batters. The Eagles are the visiting team. They are the 6th seed in this year's Cullman County tournament. The Aggies are the 2 seed. And this Game Day Weekly first pitch started at 4:42 p.m. The Flash and Rich Jesse with you. A beautiful Monday evening of sunshine from Coach Springs Donald Freeman Field.
Bales, leadoff hitter, for good reason, really turned on the Jets to get it to first and beat off the mishandle by Eckelberry.
Eckelberry is a left-hander. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. Fairview has got Gannon Black at first, Connor Scott at second, shortstop Crimson right, third base Nick Gregory, left field Carson Jones, Caden Jennings in center, Devin Ellis in right. And that pitch, the 1-1's popped up, a fly ball in the shallow center field. Catch will be made by Caden Jennings, and that's out number 1. Behind the plate for the Aggies is Lucas West. And we got a left-hander. That's Jonah Elkelberry on the mound for Fairview Aggies. 1 on, 1 out for the Cold Spring Eagles. As the Eagles got Cole Bells leading off, Brody Bartlett just batted, Josh Winfrey hitting third, Tucker Philbeck 4th, Cody Smith 5th, Brady Phillips 6th, Matt Williams 7th, Samuel Turner 8th, and Caden Graves 9th. Their pitcher will be Ethan Neighbors, and that's a pitch called strike to Josh Winfrey. It's 0-1, 1 on, 1 out. Second semifinal game underway from Donald Freeman Field. The 0-1 fly ball to center field. That ball is carrying. That ball is going to be caught straight away out there in center field. Great catch by Caden Jennings, probably about 340 feet away from home plate, out number 2 in the first.
Yeah, just not enough wind up underneath one. Good job out there by the center fielder Jennings to track it down, keep the runner at first.
This is Coach Springs Field, but they're the visiting team because they're the lowest seed. The Eagles came from behind in extra innings on Saturday, defeated Vinemont 8-7. Fairview rolled away from Holly Pond 10-3. Our first semifinal was a Good Hope Raider game against the West Point Warriors, and that was a final of 9-3. The Warriors with 6 runs in the last 2 innings. The 1-0. That's a called strike. It's 1-1 to Tucker Philbeck.
Nice job working over the outside corner of the plate there by Eckelberry.
The lefty with the 1-1. Swing and a miss at a high fastball, and it's 1-2.
Second one we've seen like that so far in this ball game, rising fastball, and both of them have had the batter swinging.
Eckelberry will work from the stretch. The 1-2. Ground ball hit to short. Makes a backhand, goes to second. And they got the out, and that's out number 3. That'll be a fielder's choice. So 6-4 on the putout for the Cold Spring Eagles. No runs, no hits, 1 error, and a runner left after half an inning from Donald Freeman Field. The Cold Spring Eagles, nothing. The Fairview Aggies coming to back. We'll be back in 1 minute with more county baseball on WKUL-FM and WKUL.com.
Family-oriented. Family-oriented.
Friendly.
Knowledgeable.
Honesty.
Honesty. Honest.
Honest.
Honesty. Dedicated. Dedicated.
Dedicated.
Team.
Teamwork, a great team.
Trustworthy.
Trust.
Hardworking.
Top notch.
On top of everything.
And integrity. This is who we are. We are Happy Homes.
junior Ethan Neighbors on the mound for the Cold Spring Eagles, wearing uniform 9. Eagles decked in blue tops, white pants. Fairview's got the all Yankee pinstripe look with purple numerals, purple pinstripes. The Aggies, the home team here in the second semifinal. Flash and Rich Jesse with you from Donald Freeman Field. Also, our audio being provided to our friends over at CCBOE TV, Ty Watwood and his crew. The Fairview Aggies have Crimson Light leading off, Nick Gregory batting second, Lucas West third, then Barrett York fourth, Gannon Black fifth, Connor Scott sixth, Carson Jones seventh, Caden Jennings eighth, and Devin Ellis batting ninth. For the Eagles, first base is Matt Williams, second base Cole Bales, shortstop Brody Bartlett, Josh Winfrey at third, Cody Smith playing left, Caden Graves in center, right field is Brady Phillips, behind the plate is Tucker Philbeck, and right-hander junior Ethan Neighbors on the mound. These are first-year coaches for these two teams. Last game was veteran coaches, Mitch Witcher, 21 years at Good Hope, Drew Bryson, 5 years at West Point. You got Brendan Vos, his first season with the Cold Spring Eagles, and Nick Dumas, his first year with the Fairview Aggies.
Had a speech class about 20 years or so ago with Coach Mitch Witcher, and certainly a good speaker, better coach.
Well, he is an elder. I looked at it last night. Started in 2003 coaching Raider baseball. Looks like a sidearm coming from Ethan Neighbors. Pitch is fouled at the plate by Crimson Wright for the Fairview Aggies. Crimson Wright, let me find the roster here. Crimson Wright, let's see, where's number 8? He is a junior. Leadoff batter and limping a little bit at that pitch, fouled off his lead foot.
That's right. Fouled off that left foot. Trying to walk it off a bit.
Cullman County Tournament semifinal number 2. The winner to play the West Point Warriors later this evening here at Donald Freeman Field, Coach Springs. Pitch is downstairs. It's 1-1 strike. Big week for the Coach Spring Eagles. They'll be hosting North Sand Mountain Bison in a 2A playoff series Friday, a doubleheader, and Saturday, game 3 if needed. They're champions of 2A Area 10. The 1-1. Sidearm. Ground ball, right field, base hit for Fairview's Crimson Wright. So the leadoff batter for the Fairview Aggies zone. Eagles have had a very good month of April, Rich Jesse, as they have won 7 out of 8. They are 2-2 against county competition, but like the first semifinal game, when West Point played Good Hope for the first time, same for the Eagles and the Aggies.
Aggies off to a good start. Similarly, both halves of this inning started with a single. Now we got a runner going.
Pitch called strike, square to bunt. Runner safe at second. Stolen base for Crimson Wright. 0-1 count to the Aggies' third baseman, Nick Gregory.
The Aggies getting right down to business, trying to get people in scoring position, doing a good job of it.
Gregory, a sophomore, batting from the right side for Fairview. The 0-1. Ground ball hit the second. They'll bob it a play. Runner from third come around and score. That'll be an E4. The Fairview Aggies have the lead 1-0 on the ground ball mishandled off the bat of Nick Gregory.
2 balls going right at the second baseman there for Cold Springs. First one just couldn't get a good play on that one. Had a fair chance at it and went right off the glove. Tough break there for Cole Bales.
1 in, 1 on, nobody out. And here's the catcher, Lucas West. Throw to first, runner safe. West had 2 RBIs in their victory on Saturday against the Holly Pond Broncos. Fairview was a winner 10-3. That was not the closest game of the 3 that were played on Saturday. Neighbors from the stretch. That sidearm. That looks like Dan Quisbury. Pitches up high, 1-0.
That one way out of the zone, though. No chance that West was going to take a look at that one.
They'll hold the runner on. First baseman is Matt Williams of the Eagles. Runner at first, nobody out. 1-0 Fairview in their half of the first. Pitch is fouled out of play. We got a good crowd of Fairview fans to our right, Cold Spring fans to our left. West Point fans are up there on the embankment. They may be tailgating.
It's a good place for the setting of this ballpark. A good place for tailgating. Good elevation down both sides of the baselines. No center field seating unless you just want to stand back there behind the fence.
1-1 pitch is inside. Throw to second. Runner safe. Stolen base. Second stolen base in the inning for the Aggies. This one for Nick Gregory. So a 2-1 count to the Fairview catcher. Waiting on deck as the DH. That's Barrett York.
Philbeck for the Eagles been busy so far. Aggies intend on keeping him busy.
That pitch is fouled into the trees way beyond the third base side and up above the spectators in their lawn chairs up there on the driveway, the dirt driveway.
Yanked that one about as high as the pine trees, but it was in that direction for sure.
But a beautiful looking day and a great looking scenery here at Coach Springs, Alabama, and a breaking ball hits the batter. Lucas West will go to first with nobody out. So this is Barrett York. York, 2 hits, 2 RBIs in their triumph over their East Cullman County rivals 2 days ago, Holly Pond. Barrett York, sophomore, bats on the left side for Coach Dumas and his Aggies. Neighbors will work from the stretch with 2 on and nobody out. Squares a bunt, bunt and foul at the plate, 0-1. Now, I want to talk about tailgating, Rich, on Mount Saturday. You know, I do Wallace State baseball. Well, after their sweep of State State, the baseball parents were given permission to have tailgating outside the parking lot of James C. Bailey Stadium.
Okay. You know, I've been to a few games there and sat up there on the sidewalk behind the center field fence, and I'd stop short of saying it was tailgating, but, you know, good place to go see the baseball game.
But certainly with the great hospitality by the Wallace State baseball parents and a lot of food. I certainly wasn't hungry after 2 hours. That pitch is outside. It's 2-1 to the left-handed hitting Barrett York. Gannon Black on deck. 1-0 Fairview Aggies in the last of the first and second semifinal. The county baseball tournament on WKWL FM, WKWL.com, and CCBOE.TV. The 2-1. Popped him up. That ball is in playable area. I didn't see the infield fly rule by the umpires. Caught out there on the outside edge of the infield dirt, taken away by the shortstop for the Eagles, that being Brody Bartlett. That's out number 1 here in the Fairview first.
Yeah, Bartlett lost it for just a second. The sun behind him. Of course, I don't know if the wind got a hold of it or just had a bad look at the top of the baseball, but able to gather it in and make a nice snag.
His first baseman, Gannon Black, pitches outside 1-0. Gannon Black is a junior. A change in the commandership for the Fairview Aggies after last season. Nick Dumas taking over. Fairview, an up-and-down season, only 1-5 in April. That pitch is swung on, fly ball into left field. That ball's going to carry and be extra bases. 1 run will come in to score. Another will head to home. It'll be a 1-out, 2-run double by Gannon Black, and the Fairview Aggies now lead the Coach Spring Eagles 3-0.
2-run score and a well-hit ball right there kind of in the gap and carried a bit more. It goes out, Johnny. I know it was in doubt there for a second, but a great long ball to score the 2 runners for the Aggies.
So Gannon Black with a 2-run double to left center. And here's second baseman Connor Scott. Another lefty. And that pitch is on the outside corner and by the right-hander Neighbors. That sidearm delivery, 0-1.
Neighbors was needing a good pitch. Let's see if he can work off these.
They'll check the runner at second. The 0-1. Outside with an off-speed pitch, it's 1-1. Carson Jones, the left fielder, waits on deck. The Eagles are occupying the third base dugout. The Aggies are on the first base side. The 1-1. Pitch is inside with an off-speed. That might have been a slider. 2-1 to count. The 2-1 to Connor Scott. Fouled behind the plate, out of play, 2-2.
Neighbors likes the off-speed pitches a lot, I've seen so far in this game. Been able to throw some strikes, though, right across the plate. We'll see if he continues to stick to the fastballs that he's throwing.
Well, one
for
of the runs
strikes.
scored by Fairview, courtesy of a Coach Springs fielding error. That's a pitch foul to the screen behind home plate. Over there near the CCBOE location, we're on the first base side. Great hospitality by the folks here, Coach Vos and his baseball people. Principal is Mr. Eric Dickerson. Hadn't seen him in a day. The 2-2. Struck him out with an off-speed pitch inside. That's out number 2, a big strikeout for Ethan Neighbors.
Yeah, it looked like a kind of a slow breaking curve across the plate, and that's exactly what Neighbors needed. He needed that second out, maybe stop the bleeding a little bit for the Eagles here in the first.
Carson Jones bats with 2 outs here and the runner at second. And the Aggies with a 3-0 lead in their half of the first. Foul to the screen. He's got some good-looking pitches. He may not have a lot of velocity, but trying to direct it on inside to the left-handed hitters and away from the right-handers.
Take a look at the flag out there in left center, close to left center, Johnny. Wind changing his mind a lot today, now blowing inward.
Yeah, blowing into the south. That pitch is grounded down the first base line. Foul, 1 ball, 1 strike. 0-2 correction. Wind's been blowing around 10 to 12 miles an hour throughout the afternoon. Temperature in the upper 60s, just a gorgeous day to enjoy Cullman County baseball, and especially if you can't make it here with us here from WKUL-FM. Popped him up. That should be playable. At first base, that'll be Matt Williams to put it away, and the inning comes to a close. Now the Fairview Aggies, they have 3 runs in the first on 2 hits. There was an error and a runner left. After 1 full inning here from Donald Freeman Field, the Fairview Aggies lead the Coach Spring Eagles 3-0. Back with my longtime colleague and great friend Rich Jesse. Last time we did something together involved Coach Springs High School when we called the Lady Eagles Central Regional Championship back in late February down at the Bill Harris Arena in Birmingham.
Well, it seems like it's been a while, but the common denominator between those two days are both of those days were beautiful. That day we were inside. Today we're outside on a very, very nice afternoon.
Coach Spring Eagles in the second. They will have Cody Smith, Brady Phillips, and Matt Williams swinging the first pitch. That's going to be a difficult play. That's going to drop out there between the shortstop and left fielder. That'll be a base hit for Cody Smith, the left fielder. They'll lead off the Eagles second. That will be their first hit of the ball game.
Crimson Right ambitious in trying to track that one down. Nice backup for the left fielder and the center fielder. But Crimson, if you had to do all over again, might have given that one to the left fielder, Johnny.
Here's Brady Phillips for the Eagles. But that ball went above our heads and out of play. 0-1 to the Coach Springs right fielder.
Better watch that noggin here today, Flash.
Yeah, I just have to call my insurance company and get some extra insurance.
I don't think they'd insure my head. It's too large.
Phillips is listed as a sophomore. That's from the right side. Deal 1. Swing and a miss. Good fastball away by the left-hander Eckleberry. It's 0-2.
Not only can Eckleberry produce some pretty decent-looking facial hair, he can send one across that outside corner.
Pitch is up high. It's 1-2.
Some good velocity on his pitches. favors more of the fastball than his opponent neighbors here in this matchup.
Matt Williams is on deck for the Eagles. Coach Springs batting in the half of the second, down 3-0. Pitch is swung on a miss, strikeout. First strikeout of the ball game by Eckleberry. 1 out for the Eagles here in the second. And first baseman Matt Williams, he steps in. A sophomore. Combination of young players for Coach Vos in his first year. Fastball outside corner to the left-hander, 0-1.
Another good-looking fastball by the pitcher.
Lefty versus lefty. That's grounded. Down the first baseline, handled by the pitcher. Flips to first to get the out. Runner moves to second. That'll be 1-3 on the putout. Eckleberry 2, Gannon Black. 2 outs in the inning now for the DH Samuel Turner.
The second baseball that's come Eckleberry's way in this game. That time he gathered it well with his glove and very confidently just tossed it over there to first, an easy play. But he let one get past him earlier and nearly cost him.
But the Eagles have a runner in scoring position with 2 outs for the DH Samuel Turner. Turner, a junior, and takes the pitch inside, 1-0. Again, Coach Springs winning 7 of their last 8. They took 2 out of 3 against area opponent last week, Southeastern, to clinch the Area 10 title. That pitch is swung on and missed. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Fairview Aggies, Coach Springs Eagles, the winner to come back and play a little prime time today against the West Point Warriors here from Coach Springs' Donald Freeman Field. The 1-1. Fastball is inside and low. It's 2-1. Caden Graves, the center fielder, would be next. Eckleberry, a southpaw working from the stretch. The 2-1. Chased a high fastball away. It's 2-2.
That's been his best pitch so far in this game, that high fastball. Every one of them he's thrown, Johnny, hitter has chased after. A rising fastball.
The 2-2. That's popped up, but out of play right side. Braves baseball later this evening on 92.1 FM. The first of 3 for the Hot Atlanta Braves, who are 8-1 away from Truist Park. 12-4 overall. Game 1 tonight at San Diego, 8:40 first pitch. The 2-2. That pitch is inside with a high fastball. It's 3-2. So a payoff pitch coming to the Coach Springs DH. He's batting 8th in the lineup for the Eagles. The 3-2. That's low ball 4. The Eagles have 2 on and 2 out.
Good at bat by Sam Turner there. Started off not looking so great. He chased one outside the strike zone, stayed with it, now finds himself on board with the base on balls.
Another left-hander hitting Coach Springs Eagles, center fielder Caden Graves. He is a junior, batting with 2 on and 2 outs for the Eagles in the second. That's a pitch on the inside corner, a fastball. It's called strike. Plenty of Coach Springs fans around the third base dugout. Plenty of Fairview fans to our right. That pitch is up high. It's 1-1. I see a majority of the West Point Warriors are relaxing there as far as they're just sitting back enjoying this afternoon sun.
That's the idea. If you're gonna have to play again, sit back, enjoy, and rest while you can.
1-1 is the fastball swung up and high. Called. It's 1-2. Good pitch up and in to Graves. If he gets on, back to the top of the order for the Eagles will be second baseman Cole Bales. Strike 3 call. Fastball inside corner, and the inning is over.
Looking at that thing like a classic car going across the plate. That was a nice pitch.
No runs, 1 hit for the Coach Springs Eagles. They leave 2 on base. After an inning and a half here from Donald Freeman Field, it's the Fairview Aggies 3, the Coach Springs Eagles nothing. Getting ready for the last of the second for the Fairview Aggies. Caden Jennings, Devin Ellis, and back to the top of the order with Crimson Wright. Aggies with a 3 spot in the first, a 3-0 lead in the semifinal, game number 2, here from Coach Springs down on Freeman Field. Certainly want to talk about the Wallace State Baseball Lions as they continue to set the world on fire with 12 consecutive victories. And Coach Randy Pubman just 4 wins shy, a career win 1,200. And this week, one of the arch rivals to battle the Lions. First 2 games will be on Thursday in Hansel at James C. Bailey Stadium, 2 and 4. And then they'll go to Tuscaloosa on Saturday, taking on Shelton State. Here's Caden Jennings, the center fielder, facing the sidearm, and a line shot in the left field. It'll be a base hit to lead off the Fairview second.
Tough break out there for Cold Springs. Josh Wright wasn't quite at the ready. That one hit right at him, went right over his glove. And the pitch and the hits came so early in the inning, I don't think he was quite ready.
Senior outfielder Devin Ellis steps in with 1 on and nobody out. They'll hold the runner on, that being the first baseman of the Eagles, Matt Williams. Right-hander Ethan Neighbors will work from the stretch, check the runner at first. Square the bunt. Took a ball, throw to second, runner safe, but stolen base for the Aggies. And is already the 3rd stolen base in this game, which is in the 2nd inning for Fairview.
Yeah, Tucker Philbeck stated earlier, he's going to be busy because Fairview's busy on the base paths for sure. His 3rd attempt to throw out a runner and just a little late.
The 1-0. Squares the bunt, lays it down. Right by the plate, behind the plate. It's called foul. It's 1-1.
A little small ball being played by Fairview here today. How do you like that, Johnny?
Well, try to keep them off balance. You know, it's what the coach looked at as far as how the infield is set and relay signals through all this flashing and stuff to the batter. The 1-1 to Ellis. Squares the bunt again, lays it down. A beautiful bunt. Neighbors, 1 play to first. They got the out. It'll be a sacrifice, but they moved the runner in further scoring position to third base, 1 away. We're back to the top of the lineup with Crimson Wright.
Laid it down just enough to get the runner over, but great job. Ethan Neighbors just scooped it up quickly, fired it over to first. Runner never really had a chance there, but as you said, get the sacrifice over to third.
That's the old-fashioned fundamental baseball. Moving that runner on. Fastball low, 1-0. Back in my younger days, that's where a lot of teams, you know, like the Cincinnati Reds and some of the others, they would manufacture runs and rely on their pitching going basically the entire game, try to win it basically on a 3-run homer.
Right now, the Cincinnati Reds would be happy to rely on anything just to get a win.
Pitch in the dirt is 2-0. Well, they battled the Braves very hard last week at Truist Park. The Braves had to come from behind to win all 3 games. What about Tampa Bay with their good start, and then all of a sudden it fell off?
14-2 overall, not too bad.
That pitch is inside. It's now 3-0 to the Fairview center fielder. But again, the Braves 8-1 away from Truist Park. They went to Coughlin Stadium and swept the Kansas City Royals over the weekend.
Now there's a major league stadium I'd like to visit.
That's a call strike at 3-1. Well, I'd like to be at Petco Park, but the old San Diego Stadium named after the legendary sports writer out there, Jack Murphy.
There's a few stadiums left I would like to see. I mean, I would like to see all of them, don't get me wrong.
Ground ball to short, throw to first. They get the out, but a run scores. Coming in from third for the Aggies is Caden Jennings. It's now the Aggies 4-0 on an RBI ground out by leadoff batter Crimson Wright. Nick Gregory reached base on an error in the first and scored a run. He had a stolen base. 2 outs, bases empty for the Aggies. That pitch hit the outside corner. Good off-speed location by Neighbors, 0-1. Aggies trying to get control of this game and come back and play West Point tonight. Pitch inside, hit the batter. That'll be the second hit batsman in the game by Coach Springs pitcher Ethan Neighbors.
Happened right here at the top of the lineup, too. Last time.
Yeah, it was the batter now stepping in. That's Lucas West.
That's right. So Gregory reaches again. Gregory, watch for him to run, try to get good lead over there at first.
West, 2 RBIs in their game against Holly Pond on Saturday. Hit by a pitch and a run scored in the first. Pitch is in the dirt, be a wild pitch, runner to second. So we got a playoff-bound team today in the Cullman County semifinals. Cold Spring Eagles will host North Sand Mountain on Friday, 4:30 and 6:30. Game 3, if needed, would be here Saturday, TBA. The 1-0. Down the left field line, hooking into the fence, foul. Well, by some good fortune, we do have a couple of county teams in the playoffs. Yes, your Hansel Bulldogs are playoff bound. They finished second in the area. They got to make a journey into Huntsville this weekend to play Westminster Christian. The 1-1. Slider outside is 2-1. Good old Raiders got tired of seeing them last week. Played each other 3 times. The 2 important games for the Bulldogs, they won because that's area.
Good for the Bulldogs. That'll definitely be a tough matchup going to Westminster Christian. They're very happy to be in the playoffs. Coach Chandler doing a good job down there in the south side of Cullman County.
Pitch is in the dirt, gets away from the catcher. It'll be a wild pitch runner to third. The area champion that defeated Hansel is Aniana. They'll be at home against St. John Paul Catholic. Got a 3-1 count to Lucas West, Barrett York on deck. And now time call. Conversation between catcher Tucker Philbeck and right-hander Ethan Neighbors.
It was a short one. Maybe a little confidence booster coming from Philbeck. He knows he's seen two balls get past him here in this inning alone. Got a couple hit batsmen. Go over there and talk your pitcher through it.
That pitch is outside, breaking ball, ball 4. So now the Aggies have runners on the corners and 2 out. And here's the DH, Barrett York. Left-handed hitter, the DH. York popped to short in his first at bat. A 4-0 lead for the Aggies here in the second. Time called. Philbeck out behind the plate, changing the signals to his infielders and his pitcher. Runner going, pitch is popped up and is out of play. Landed on the embankment behind us. It's 0-1 to the DH, Barrett York.
York flew out last time at the plate. Same thing, just getting underneath the ball just a little bit. Got to wonder how they scouted and what type of pitches that they're looking to throw to York, the big DH for the Fairview Aggies.
Yeah, like our previous semifinal, first meeting between these two, the Aggies and the Eagles, as it was with the Good Oak Raiders and the West Point Warriors. West Point winning 9-3. Runner goes again, 0-1, grounded to first base. Easy play, Matt Williams over the bag in time, and that's out number 3. So the Aggies get a run, and they do it on 1 hit and leave a runner on base after a couple of innings here down at Freeman Field. It is the Cold Spring Eagles trailing the Fairview Aggies 3-1. Rich Jesse will take over with the play-by-play in our next inning as the Cullman County baseball tournament continues on WKO FM and WKO.com. no runs on 1 hit. They've stranded 3. Left-hander continues his tosses at Jonah Eckleberry. And now to present the play-by-play for the next 3 innings for us for WKO-FM, WKO.com, and CCVOE TV. Here's my friend and partner, Rich Jesse.
Thanks, Flash Man. Johnny Thornton, top of the order. Due up here for the Cold Springs Eagles. Bales, Bartlett, and Wright. And the left-handed first baseman, Cole Bales, steps in and awaits the pitch from Eckleberry. Swung on, fouled down, ground, first base line. 0-1, now the count from Eckleberry. Eckleberry working with 2 strikeouts so far in this baseball game. Both strikeouts coming on that rising fastball. There's a high fastball out of the zone. 1-1, now the count to Cole Bales. If you're just joining us, Aggies out to an early lead, 4-0 off 3 runs. 1 error committed by Cole Springs. 3 runs in the first, 1 in the second. Strike right down Broadway. As Bales looked up, count now 1-2 to the leadoff batter here in the top of the 3rd. Eckleberry deals this one high and inside, evens it out at 2-2.
Eckleberry trying to mix up his pitches with velocity and off-speed stuff. That previous pitch before that one, certainly a good fastball on the outside corner.
Here's the 2-2 from Eckleberry. Swung on, hit toward first, gathered in by the first baseman. He'll run over and tag the bag for out number 1 here in the top half of the 3rd inning.
Good play that time for the Aggies. Ganner Black at first to handle the ground ball. And by a few steps, he outraced Cole Bales to the bag.
Up for the Eagles, Brody Bartlett, the shortstop. Flew out in the first inning. This time he takes a pitch right across the plate. 0-1, the count from Eckleberry.
Bartlett is a senior. Of course, he's now looking forward to the postseason as he'll get an opportunity to play this weekend on his home diamond.
Bartlett looks at another one. This one low and away. Evens the count at 1-1.
So we got an area champion in county baseball, the Cold Spring Eagles. Runner-up, the Hansel Bulldogs, going to the playoffs.
Catcher sets up low. Swung on and missed. 1-2, now the count.
Not going to forget about the Cullman Bearcats, but they got to go down to Jefferson County in a playoff series with the Mortimer Jordan Blue Devils.
Bartlett steps in, waits on the pitch from the left-handed pitcher. This one low and inside, evens the count up at 2 apiece.
I think you want to come in tight on him that time with that pitch. Not bad at all.
1 out, nobody on. The 2-2 pitch coming from Fairview's Eckleberry. Swung on, hit over the 3rd baseman down the left field line. It'll be gathered in at left field. And a single for Brody Bartlett. 1 on and 1 out for the Cold Springs Eagles, and Josh Wright to the plate.
Good job that time. He just like a golf swing, that pitch, and just lifted over the 3rd baseman's head. That would be Nick Gregory for the Aggies, as now batting with 1 out is Josh Winfrey, the 3rd baseman.
3rd baseman stands in. The pitch from Eckleberry high, showing bunt. Runner's going to go. And we'll have a runner standing up at second in scoring position. That's Brody Bartlett.
That'll be a pass ball off the catcher's mitt. And now Coach Brendan Vost, his first year of the Coach Spring Eagles, the Coach Springs football coach. Also, he's been coaching travel baseball in recent years with a program called Smith Lake, especially with his child being a part of the program.
It's always good to get your kids involved in baseball. A lot of fun. A lot of fun in the spring. Eckleberry's pitch. Breaking ball on the outside corner taken for strike 1. Count now 1-1 to Josh Wright, and the big 3rd baseman from Cold Springs settles in. Bales gets a little lead off second. This one hit right back toward us for strike 2, 1-2. Now the count to Josh Wright from Eckleberry.
Yeah, 2 days ago, of course, was Jackie Robinson Day for Major League Baseball, and I also made a statement about that of doing Wallace State Baseball as PA. We honored the legendary first African-American to play April 15, 1947.
Ground ball hit right to short. Reaches back, throw it over to first, and dropped. Runner safe around third. Comes Bales, and a run will score for Cold Springs, and they're on the board here in the top half of the third inning. It's 3-1. That one most likely will be an error. Charge to the first baseman. Flash, your judgment?
Well, I'm going to ask you. Out of his glove, but the throw pulled him off the bag, but then he drops it. I'm going to go E6 because of the throw.
E6, a run will score, and up to the plate, Tucker Philbeck, the catcher for the Cold Springs Eagles.
Yeah, the throw pulled the first baseman off the bag for the Aggies being Gannon Black.
1 out and 1 on for Philbeck. And here's Jonah Eckelberry, the left-hander to deal. Swung on and miss, 0-1 the count.
We're in the third here, and the Cold Spring Eagles have just managed a couple of hits so far off this Fairview left-hander, Jonah Eckelberry.
0-1 pitch from Eckelberry. Rising fastball, swung on and missed, 0-2 the count.
Good pitch that time right there at the letters.
Philbeck in a hole. Here 0-2. Runner at first. Thrower to first, not in time. No, he got it. No. What happened, Johnny? That one went past.
Unless they called a balk.
I thought that he caught it. The support for the chain link right in front of me is looking right at first base.
That's an open space down in the right field line. They could have went to it. Apparently the first base umpire said balk.
So a balk sends Josh Wright over to second base. And a runner in scoring position, again for Cold Springs. 1 out, an 0-2 count to the catcher, Tucker Philbeck. Pitch, fastball on the outside, corner just a bit outside for Eckelberry. And now the count 1-2. One-two pitch comes from Eckelberry, fouled off.
That's a good off-speed pitch. That's a good curveball coming inside on the right-hander batter.
So 1-2, still the count. Runner on second for Cold Springs. Got on the board just a moment ago as Cole Bales crossed home plate. 3-1, Fairview leads. Cold Springs trying to climb back. Eckelberry's pitch high for ball 2. 2-2 the count, 1 out and 1 on at second base here for Cold Springs.
Eagles trying to rally in this game, and they're the visiting team because they're the lowest seed.
Eckelberry's pitch outside, full count.
They seeded based on how you finished in the tournament last year, so Fairview was runner-up to West Point, and Cold Springs was a 6th seed. Of course, last year we did the championship game from a cold West Point ball field.
Here's the 3-2 coming from Eckelberry to Philbeck. Swung on and missed, and he'll sit the big catcher down for Cold Springs. And a nice clutch strikeout there for Jonah Eckelberry, his 3rd of the game, 2nd out of the inning, and 1 runner on for Cold Springs now. And to the plate, Cody Smith, the left fielder.
High fastball that Philbeck chased and came up empty.
Throw to second, got him. Josh Wright couldn't get back in time for the Cold Springs Eagles, and that'll do it for the top half of the 3rd inning. The Eagles score 1, leave 1 on, and we go to the bottom half of the 3rd. Our score, Fairview 4, Cold Springs 1. You're listening to the Cullman County Baseball Tournament. We return here to Cold Springs, Alabama for the Cullman County Baseball Tournament between the Fairview Aggies and the Cold Springs Eagles. Bottom half of the third inning, due up for the Fairview Aggies. Gannon Black, Connor Scott, and Carson Jones. Our score, Fairview 4, Cold Springs 1, and Ethan Neighbors, big right-hander, a junior for the Cold Springs Eagles, gets ready to go to work against Black. High fly ball, just inside shortstop, and a nice snag there by Cole Bales for the first out here in the bottom half of the third.
Good job by that's Brody Bartlett. He's at shortstop, Bales at second. But a nice pitch, got out and up and under it. One pitch, one out for Fairview here in their half of the third.
Due up, Connor Scott. Scott struck out last time at the plate. This first pitch coming from Neighbors, a ball, 1-0 the count to Connor Scott. Scott, the second baseman for Fairview, settles in to face the 1-0. Neighbors pitch, swung on and missed, evens the count, 1-1.
Good pitch on the outside part of the plate that time by Neighbors. As the Eagles are trying to get the Aggies 3 up and 3 down here in the Fairview third.
Neighbors reaches back, throws one outside for ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out.
Can't picture a better day of doing some Cullman County baseball with the sun in front of us and a nice breeze with a great temperature for the county finals.
Neighbors 2-1, call strike. 2-2 now the count. Connor Scott steps out, now backs in, taps the plate, and he's ready. Neighbors, pitch, hit over second base towards center. It'll drop down for a single. First hit of the ball game for Connor Scott, first hit of the inning. And the Aggies are in business here with 1 out and 1 on. And Carson Jones, the left fielder, to the plate for the Fairview Aggies.
Good job by Connor Scott taking the pitch on the opposite way, going a left-hander batter hitting it out in sort of left center. Aggies trying to put something going here with 1 on and 1 out in their third.
Fairview been very aggressive around the bases so far in this baseball game, leading 4-1. 1 out and 1 on here in the bottom half of the third inning.
Yeah, the Aggies are 3 for 3 in stolen bases.
Neighbors looks into field back for the sign. Checks his runner at first, pitches, runner going. And this one fouled down the first base line, 0-1 the count. Now to Carson Jones. Jones popped out his first at bat. Now 0-1 to him here in the bottom half of the third. Decent lead at first for Connor Scott. Look over there, try to get him. Nothing doing.
Matt Williams has played a very good first base with the Cold Spring Eagles, handling ground balls and trying to help out his pitcher, trying to pick off a runner.
Jones steps back in, ready to face the pitch from Cold Springs, Ethan Neighbors. Junior looks in, throws, pitch. This one lined over the shortstop into center field, grabbed there, but it'll send a runner around to third. And now held up is Jones between first and second. They throw home, try to get the run there, nothing doing. And the hitter will reach second, and scoring is Connor Scott. And the lead now is 4 for the Fairview Aggies, 5-1.
That'll be a double for Carson Jones. No RBI because it got caught in a rundown, but an alert move by Connor Scott, a throw high from first base to the plate from Williams to Philbeck.
5th hit of the baseball game for the Aggies. They've got 1 on at second with 1 out. First pitch, a strike to Fairview's
It's Caden Jennings.
Caden Jennings. Jennings, a center fielder, fouls one down the third base line. Jones was going very quickly from second.
Yeah, the Aggies have their uniform number down below on the front of the jersey. Got the nickname Aggies, and it would be to the left.
Hard to see from our vantage point here at times.
Right.
Is Philbeck's Hardware's right near where that number would be. Pitch from Neighbors outside. Count now 1-2, 1 out, and 1 on at second for Fairview.
One thing I've noticed about down here at Coach Springs, how they do things as far as with the lettering on the jerseys, like the logo, CHS.
You don't want to have to fit all those letters in that baseball jersey. Runner going from second. He'll make it. Jones now at third with 1 out and a 1-2 count to his teammate Caden Jennings. Could get a sacrifice on a deep enough fly ball. Here's Neighbors' 2-2 pitch. This one is a fly ball to center field, and it'll be tracked down there just in front of the sign. Runner's going to tag up and score. Second run of the inning will score after the second out. And the Fairview Aggies now lead 6-1.
Well, you just talked about the opportunity of them trying to score with a fly ball. They get the job done. And the Fairview Aggies have scored at least a run in every inning so far in this county tournament semifinal.
Devin Ellis, the left-hander, right fielder to the plate. Neighbors pitch right down the middle, chest-high fastball for strike number 1. Crimson right on deck if necessary. 6-1 lead, 2 outs. Bases cleared for Devin Ellis. Breaking ball. Ellis swung on and missed. 0-2 the count.
Fairview got, what, at least 3 left-handed hitters in this lineup?
Yes, 3. Pitch to Ellis. Popped up near third base, foul territory. Snagged for out number 3. So at the end of 3, the Fairview Aggies score 2 more runs on 2 hits, none left. It's 6-1 Aggies over the Cold Springs Eagles, back with the top half of the 4th. After this, you're listening to the Cullman County Baseball Tournament.
We'll have a championship game under the lights here at Donald Freeman Field. I would say estimating time after 7 o'clock. Also, for you Braves fans, we'll have them later on tonight from San Diego, game 1 of their series with the Padres. They got to turn the tables on San Diego after the Padres beat them 3 out of 4 at Truist Park. But again, the Braves playing good baseball despite being a little banged up with some key positions, and had some guys come in and do a quality job in replacing those injuries.
Night baseball. Late night baseball on the West Coast has always been one of my most favorite things to listen to on the radio. Here we are at the top half of the 4th inning. First pitch, grounded over to third base and quickly delivered over to first for the first out of the inning. That was Cody Smith on the ground out. So the first out is the Eagles trail 6-1. And to the plate, Brady Phillips. First pitch from Eckleberry, a ball, 1-0 the count.
Nothing like a late night game on the West Coast, especially in the many years of Dodger baseball with a guy named Vin Scully.
One of the best, the best. Second pitch, call strike, evens it up at 1 apiece and 1 out. This one lined right over the pitcher, gathered in at second base, thrower to first in time for out number 2.
I thought that ball was going to go out in the center field, but a good job by Crimson Wright to get in behind the bag and make the throw plenty of time to retire him.
Nice setup play there for the right-handed shortstop. Just flowed very easily on that throw over to first base. 2 outs, and the first pitch to Matt Williams, a called strike to the big first baseman. Eckelberry gets out in front with 2 outs. Second pitch, high fastball, evens the count at 1-1.
I think another great guy still doing baseball out on the West Coast now for the Giants. Longtime career with the Orioles and ESPN, John Miller.
Pitch low and inside from Eckelberry, goes 2-1. Eckelberry with a pitch, this one bit outside for ball 3.
You know, when I sent you a message, said
count.
we're going to have a lot of conversation about the game and also talk a lot about other parts about baseball.
Pitch popped up, goes behind us, right above the concession stand.
Did it hit the press box?
Yeah, it may be coming down on one of our fat heads momentarily. Makes the count full with 2 outs.
You're closer to it than I am because it's to my left.
Maybe the baseball gods will smile upon us today.
Well,
3-2 pitch, grounded to first, gets past the first baseman down into right field, and that one will be good enough for a single. So a 2-out single for Matt Williams and the Cold Springs Eagles. Not done yet here in the top of the 4th.
well, what I don't want to do is hit those windows. I don't know if they're glass or plexiglass as far as at the press box or go in there and peg the PA announcer.
Wisely, this single pitch roof is pitched back behind us here, so when a foul ball goes on it, it's going to go behind the press box, but hopefully the backstop will stop anything else. 0-1 pitch from Eckelberry, right across the plate, swung on and missed. So it's 0-1, the count, 2 outs. Matt Williams on. This is Sam Turner, the DH. Grounds it to third, gathered in, throw over to first, in time for the 3rd out of the inning. So no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left. To the bottom half of the 4th inning we go. Fairview leads Cold Springs 6-1. You're listening to the Cullman County Baseball Tournament.
Don't forget about GameDayWeekly.com, our local sports website, courtesy of WKUL-FM. We'll have reports tomorrow on the Cullman County Baseball Tournament and much, much more. Had about Wallace State baseball over the weekend. Wallace State softball, they had to play a doubleheader today with Snead and finish up a suspended game with Snead, apparently because of darkness. Snead softball don't have lights over at Boaz.
Somebody didn't pay the light bill over in Boaz?
They don't have lights installed.
Oh.
That's something they got to work on over there.
That sounds like it.
Yeah.
Bottom half of the 4th inning, ready to be underway. Ethan Neighbors still on the mound here for the Cold Springs Eagles. Cold Springs trails 6-1 to the Fairview Aggies. Top of the order, due up Crimson Wright, Nick Gregory, and Lucas West. Crimson Wright steps into the batter box and awaits the pitch from Neighbors. First pitch, call strike on the outside corner, 0-1.
I had a story yesterday, a feature story on Game Day Weekly about the Southern Stars shootout with all those teams from 4 different states, including young ladies, a sophomore from Kentucky being recruited by 30 schools already.
Neighbors for the Eagles. Gets one to right. Bunt, but a foul, and 0-2. Now the count to Crimson Right. Crimson Right with a single, a stolen base, and a sacrifice here in this ball game so far, trying to get on base again.
I know you want to be with me in congratulating the Coach Springs Lady Eagle down here. Macy Brown got invited to the Alabama High School All-Star Game in July. The MVP of the Central Regional in the ball game you saw where she played very well. They beat Francis Marion down in Birmingham.
Well deserved, and some of her best games coming late in the season when I was able to watch her. Congratulations in order for Macy Brown. Know her dad went to school with Brandon. Very good fellow there. I know he's very proud of his daughter. Foul ball down the left field line. 0-2, still the count to Crimson Right.
Now, yesterday, Lakeland Shaddix was playing with a 1400 travel team, and I'm sure you remember the name Reese Davis from Deschler, the 8th grade point guard.
I do remember that. My first thoughts go to Reese Davis from ESPN.
I think it was Reese. I mean, I think his last name was Davis. I had to look at my roster, but they played together. And also, the best 7th grader in the state of Alabama, Lakeland played with her yesterday, Brooke Hill from Mars Hill.
Neighbors throws one outside for ball 1. 1-2 now the count to Right. Now Right swung on, hit right to the shortstop, delivers over to first in time for the first out of the inning.
Good play that time, handled by Brody Bartlett, the shortstop, with a throw easy for Matt Williams to put away, out number 1 for the Aggies in their half of the 4th.
Up to the plate now, Nick Gregory. Gregory, stolen base, hit by pitch, reached on an error earlier in this ball game as well. First pitch to Gregory, swung on and missed. 0-1 now the count with 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th.
Good pitch inside that time by Neighbors. Gregory way out in front, a swing and a miss.
Neighbors looks for his sign, delivers. This one hit over the shortstop toward left field, and it'll drop down for a base hit. So add a single to the box for Nick Gregory, and he's on base again. Again, he has a stolen base earlier on there in the first inning, so he's got some wheels. Look for him to use it. 1 out, 1 on, and to the plate for Fairview, Lucas West, the catcher. Look over to first, the throw, not in time.
My Game Day Weekly player of the game from Game 1, West Point Warrior victor over Good Hope. I'm going to go with the freshman DH, Charlie Ashley. Had a couple of hits, had a couple of runs scored, swung very well from the DH and just a freshman.
Couple stride lead for Gregory. He's going. Throw in the dirt, sliding and safe. It's a throw from the catcher. Philbeck not in time, and another stolen base for Gregory.
I got him 4 out of 4 as far as steals. I got Gregory. Let's see, he's got at least 2.
That's exactly right. Gregory with 2, Wright with 1, and Caden Jennings with 1. Ground ball to third, gathered in by Wright. Throw over to first in time for out number 2 in the inning. Rudder will advance over to third. So I have 1 on the corner there at third. That's Nick Gregory after West moves him over. 2 outs. Now for the DH, Barrett York.
Good job by the third baseman to come across the bag and make the throw. That's Josh Winfrey for the Eagles.
Neighbors at the plate. Hits this one right at the second baseman. Gathered in, throw over to first. In time for the 3rd out of the inning. No runs, 2 hits, 1 left. We go to the top half of the 5th inning. The Fairview Aggies lead 6-1 over the Cold Springs Eagles.
Welcome to Johnny's Barbecue. Johnny's has been family owned since 1963 and making barbecue locally since 1949. Over the years, we've learned a lot about smoking the most flavorful barbecue, including pork, chicken, and ribs. Our service is fast and friendly, so come on in and take time to savor our tender pulled pork covered in homemade Johnny's barbecue sauce. Experience firsthand why Johnny's Barbecue is one of the best barbecue restaurants in the Southeast. Whether you're hungry for pork, ribs, chicken, catfish, or one of our enormous stuffed baked potatoes, our menu will satisfy your entire family. Inducted into the Alabama Barbecue Hall of Fame in 2015, Johnny's legacy continues on. Johnny's offers catering for all your events and gatherings. Johnny's is open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Johnny's Barbecue, Bulldog slapping good.
On Friday, Hansel Bulldogs play in the 4A at Westminster Huntsville. Whitesburg Christian at Cleveland over in Blount County, and that's at 4:30. Game 1 on Friday. A pretty good team I saw early in the season play West Point. Arabs has got the home field against Moody. Game 1 Friday at 4 o'clock.
I hear the folks at Pinson Valley are still upset about that loss in the basketball season. First pitch hit, had a little action, and the man in black up there, blue, depending on what shade you're seeing, says that's not a hit. Come back.
Caught him out for stepping on the plate. That'd be 2 unassisted if you're scoring with us.
So Caden Graves, the first out here in the top half.
Yeah. Well, the umpire did a good job, come out immediately and signaled batters out, stepped on the plate. Coach Host, maybe 10 seconds with a conversation or maybe less.
Cole Bales, a second baseman, steps in and takes a fastball, 0-1, and now the 0-1 pitch from Eckleberry. Hit right towards second, gathered in, tossed there, in time, out number 2 here in the top half of the 5th inning.
Like in our first game, people don't understand in baseball, when you get a catcher's interference, as unfortunately for West Point, Colton McCoy got it twice, that's an E2.
Brody Bartlett, the catcher, at the plate here, takes strike 1, 2 outs, and Eckleberry having himself a good inning so far. 2 batters down, barely even thrown 5 pitches. Here's another one from Eckleberry, foul tip, 0-2, now the count to Brody Bartlett, the shortstop.
He's an out away from having 4 out of 5 scoreless innings for the Fairview Aggies.
Eckleberry looks for the sign. The left-hander lets one go. Check swing. Not even need to be checked.
No. He's upstairs.
1-2. One, 2 from Eckleberry. This one's high. We haven't seen that high rising fastball in the last inning or so. I think he was looking for that there.
I think he's trying to teeter with that all-speed pitch, hanging up high but not getting into the strike zone.
2-2 from Eckleberry. Hit right in front of the catcher, fielded by the shortstop. Throw to first, not in time, and Cold Springs, Brody Bartlett will reach, and Josh Wright to the plate. Eagles still alive here in the top half of the 5th inning.
One reason that was an infield single for Brody Bartlett because of his speed getting down first in a hurry. An infield single, 2 outs, and Josh Winfrey trying to keep this inning going for Coach Springs.
First pitch from Eckleberry, call strike on the outside edge. And Josh Winfrey, the third baseman, steps in. Apologies to the folks at home. Couldn't read the writing on the scorecard. Not Josh Wright, it's Josh Winfrey. No, that was not a passive shot. It's your handwriting flash.
I know, but I can't read my own writing either.
1-1 count from Eckleberry to Winfrey. Ball, 2-1 the count, 1 on first for the Cold Springs Eagles with 2 outs.
I will admit, I think I write better than our local general manager at WKUL.
You certainly have better handwriting than I do, so who am I to say? I'll take the beam out of my eye over here. Throw over to first, not in time. trying to keep Bartlett close. Not too much of a lead for the Eagles at first.
I used to be a good as far as riding, then I got too much into this business. Now I'm lousy.
Winfrey lines one over third base down toward left field. It'll get past the left fielder. He has trouble with it near the fence. Around third, headed for home is Bales. It's going to be a close play at the plate. Sliding in, safe. Cold Springs gets one on the board, and Winfrey stand-up triple at third. So 2 runs in the ball game now for the Cold Springs Eagles, and a nice hit by the big third baseman from Cold Springs. Down the line, behind the left fielder, and having trouble with it back there, Johnny, was Carson Jones. Couldn't get it in. I think that added an extra base.
Well, you just said triple. I'll agree with you. I'll give him a 3-bagger. Throw was at home. Good job as far as getting it back in by Carson Jones on the cutoff. And Brody Bartlett gets in there, and Coach Springs trying to hang around, just down 6-2.
Now to the plate, the catcher, Tucker Philbeck for the Cold Springs Eagles. Eckleberry's first pitch, a call strike, 0-1, 2 outs, 1 on at third base for Cold Springs. That's Winfrey.
Well, let's see if this disrupted confidence of Eckleberry, and apparently not. He's ahead now 0-2.
That one fouled off. As you said, Johnny, 0-2. Winfrey. A little bit of a lead over there on third. Philbeck would love to get one into play here. There's the 0-2 to the big catcher from Cold Springs. Breaking ball on the outside corner, struck him out. The 4th K of the ball game. So 1 run, scores, 1 left. We go to the bottom half of the 5th inning. The Fairview Aggies lead the Cold Springs Eagles 6-2. Fairview up to the plate next. You're listening to the Cullman County Baseball Tournament. Welcome back to Cold Springs, Alabama. You're listening to Cullman County Baseball Tournament, bottom half of the 5th inning. Fairview Aggies up to the plate, or due at the plate. They lead 6-2 over the Cold Springs Eagles. Along with the flash man, Johnny Thornton, I'm Rich Jesse. A beautiful afternoon, about 67 degrees here on the hill here in Cold Springs, southwestern Cullman County. Can almost smell the lake, Johnny Thornton.
Some of us can, some of us cannot. We also earlier today reported about that accident on Highway 69, just a little south of Dodge City, where apparently a tractor-trailer vehicle made contact with a power pole. The information I got from the Alabama State Troopers. Hopefully the driver's okay, and I know you, Rich, and everybody at WK. Well, our thoughts and condolences to the folks in Dadeville on that tragedy over the weekend of a 16-year-old birthday party with the 4 people, young people dead from people shooting and 28 injured, and one of them was going to play college football at Jacksonville State.
Just tragic. Not a whole lot more I can say. That just my sympathies go to the families and the friends of those involved. Certainly tragic. Starting the bottom half of the 5th, a fly ball out by Gannon Black, and the first baseman's down, 1 out here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Fielded in there at middle infield, and up at the plate now is Connor Scott, second baseman for the Fairview Aggies.
Put out was made by the second baseman, Cole Bells, with the sun kind of in his face.
Ethan Neighbors ready to deal, working with 1 out here. Nice breaking ball on the outside corner for Neighbors, and 0-1 now the count to Connor Scott.
Well, he's trying to get a second consecutive inning of keeping the Fairview Aggies off the scoreboard.
Scott is struck out and singled. Breaking ball in the dirt evens it up at 1-1 to Scott.
One thing I've noticed, the Coach Spring Eagles may be down in this game, but they haven't given up.
They've certainly played much better baseball since the first inning. Breaking ball, low, 2-1. Now the count to Connor Scott.
Well, they enjoyed the thrill of victory in extra innings on Saturday against their Eagle counterparts from Vinemont, winning in the last inning.
Neighbors throws. This one hit right up the middle into center field, and a nice hit for Connor Scott, and he gets his second single of this baseball game. So 1 on and 1 out. Carson Jones reached by double last time up to the plate. He'll step in, facing Neighbors here. 1 out on the board and 1 on. Jones shows bunt, runner going, throw a bit high, runner safe. Another steal.
5 for 5, what I've got for the Fairview Aggies to go with 7 hits.
That's right. 5 steals, the first one for Connor Scott in this game. 1-0 the count. Jones looks at a ball on the outside. 2-0 the count.
This is going to be baseball back in my younger days. Who do you think was the better one about stealing bases, Joe Morgan or Lou Brock?
Well, Johnny, we'll get to that one in a second. Fly ball to center field, drops right down in front of the center fielder. He almost lost it again. And reaching by way of that is Carson Jones. Around to third goes Connor Scott. So runners on the corner with 1 out for Carson Jennings. Check that, Caden Jennings, the center fielder for the Fairview Aggies.
Yeah, Carson's on the roster. He's in the bench.
Well, I've got to tell you, Johnny, both of those players that you've mentioned were very good baseball players when I was a toddler. So
I know.
my guess is Joe Morgan, but I honestly don't have enough visual evidence to really give you a good answer. Throw down to third, not in time, trying to keep Connor Scott honest, but the pitch, a strike, 0-1, 1 out, and runners on the corners.
I guess a very good one right now, but he don't really steal a lot because he's a good leadoff batter. That'll be the guy for the Braves, Ronald Acuna Jr.
Acuna definitely one of the better leadoff batters, which full circle here going back to stolen bases would lead me to allude to the king of leadoff, in my opinion, at least in my generation, to be Ricky Henderson.
Oh, absolutely.
Most
yeah.
leadoff home runs of all time, and they say Acuna is on pace to beat that, which really seems incredible because not very many people have been able to be leadoff home run kings. There was a guy for the Orioles many years ago, Brady Anderson, maybe, that may have challenged it a slight bit, but nothing like what Ricky Henderson could do. So
Henderson was a great leadoff batter and would eventually break the single-season all-time stolen base record that Lou Brock held for a long, long time.
Yeah. So and Ricky, very full of Ricky Henderson.
Oh, no doubt.
Pitch swung on and missed, and a strikeout. The second strikeout of the ball game by my record for Ethan Neighbors as he sets down the Fairview batter for the second out here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Our score, Fairview 6, Cold Springs 2.
We're going to have a pinch hitter. I've got it listed as Colton Jennings. He's a sophomore wearing number 7.
Good baseball number for Colton Jennings here. Good situation from him. Maybe 2 outs, but 2 runners in scoring position. Your team up 6-2 over the Cold Springs Eagles.
2 huge insurance runs for the Fairview Aggies as Coach Springs still nipping at their heels.
Neighbors' first pitch to Jennings. Foul tip for strike 1.
You certainly talking about Ricky Henderson being an outstanding leadoff batter. Was certainly one of the best leadoff batters, and certainly one in my younger days as far as average. heard the name Rod Carew.
Oh, absolutely, I know Rod Carew. Not just from the Beastie Boys song either. A famous Minnesota Twin.
And a California Angel afterwards.
0-2 now the count. Swung on and missed by Jennings. So 0-2, 2 out. Jennings looking to put a ball in play here for some insurance for his Aggies. The pitch to Jennings. This one lifted down the left field line. Looking at it, and it'll go foul.
Well, you're talking about in the 86 ALCS, Rod Carew got to play with two other legendary guys, Fred Lynn and Reggie Jackson.
Heard a very, very good interview with Reggie Jackson the other day. And frankly, I've always maybe not had the greatest opinion of Reggie Jackson's attitude off the field, but the interview changed a lot. That one's going to get down for a hit. 1 run will score. Here comes another, and 2 more for the Aggies off a left field single by Jennings as he reaches it first. Score goes up 8-2 after the 2 RBI single for the Fairview Aggies.
Well, Coach Dumas rolled the cards correctly, did a very good job on bringing in a pinch hitter, and now he's going to re-enter and put back in the game Devin Ellis. So he'll be running now. The pinch hitter has been erased, but he comes up with a big 2-out, 2 RBI single, and the Aggies now up by 6.
Back to the top of the order, Crimson Wright at the plate. He's grounded out, sacrificed, had a single and a stolen base. Pitch to Wright.
Hit him.
And he'll head to first base. So another runner in scoring position as Wright goes to first on a hit by pitch, and 2 outs for the batter, Nick Gregory. Gregory has reached on each of his times at the plate.
Well, the Aggies got the 2, 3, and 4 due up here. If they can extend the inning and an opportunity to get this game over by run rule.
Gregory's reached in an assortment of ways, an error, a hit by pitch, and a single. Runner going on a low pitch and sliding into third base is Devin Ellis.
Had to be a double steal because both runners were leaving, so that's now 7 for 7 for the Aggies in this game with stolen bases.
Very aggressive on the bases, as we've mentioned many times, are the Fairview Aggies, and 2 runners now in scoring position again with 2 outs. This one single, drops right in front of the center fielder, going to get past him. 2 runners will score, and let's see how far Nick Gregory will go. Rounded second, headed for third, sliding in, and safe. 2 RBI triple for Nick Gregory. So a single, a triple, another single, and a hit by pitch. And that time 2 RBIs to go with that lineup score. Now Fairview 10, Cold Springs 2 in the bottom half of the 5th inning, and due up Lucas West.
Very possible that Nick Gregory could be the GameDayWeekly.com player of the game.
Pitch to West, popped up. First baseman looks like he has a play, waves it away. Second base steps in for the 3rd out of the inning. So it's a big one. 4 runs will score for the Fairview Aggies. They leave none on the bases or score heading to the 6th inning. Fairview 10, the Cold Springs Eagles 2. You're listening to the Cullman County Baseball Tournament. Springs Eagles 10-2, 3 runs in the first, 1 in the second, 2 in the third, and 4 in the 5th for the Fairview Aggies. Cold Springs Eagles able to muster up 1 run in the third and 1 in the 5th, but it has been all offense here for the Fairview Aggies, who have been very aggressive on the bases. Johnny Thornton.
7 for 7. What I have in the stolen bases today, we talk about Nick Gregory having a big game, and also very good pitching by Jonah Eckelberry, as he has allowed a total of 2 runs and just a few hits. And the Aggies can shut him down here in the top after this inning, get 2 in the bottom. The game's over by run rule.
Eckelberry will go back to work. Cody Smith, Brady Phillips, and Matt Williams up here for the Cold Springs Eagles.
It just makes you enjoy the game of baseball, what it's like today with high school or following the Braves on WKUL. Weather has a lot about the atmosphere. Of course, 2 days ago, the Braves had to play in the cold. It had a rain delay in Kansas City.
A 1-1 pitch coming. Second foul tip of the at-bat makes it a 1-2 count to Cody Smith and Eckelberry to go back to work. What's the longest rain delay you've ever sat through, Johnny Thorne?
It's been a long time. I can remember that.
I sat through about a 2.5 hour one at Comerica Park in Detroit once, watching the Braves, Chipper Jones era Braves against the Tigers. Braves won. I took a nap in the rain. It's a long drive to Detroit when you try to go to a Tigers game the next day. Ball earlier from Eckelberry, even the count at 2-2. Pitch, grounded to third, snagged by the third baseman, reaches in, throw to first in time, and a very nice play out there for Fairview's Nick Gregory.
Well, Gregory's showing what he can do at the plate. He's showing us what he can do on the field. He dove to his left, got up, and threw a strike to get the very fast Cody Smith for the first out here in the 6th.
Right fielder, Brady Phillips, due up for Cold Springs. We got time here. Eckelberry may be handing the ball over, and that may be all we see of Jonah Eckelberry. Good appearance for him. I have him with 4 strikeouts, 2 runs earned, and he will leave here with 1 out here in the top half of the 6th inning. And Johnny, his replacement for the Aggies.
That will be, I don't have it, number 10. I have to wait for the public address announcement.
Thank you very much. We'll do that. So the unnamed pitcher will have a few warm-up tosses. We're enjoying semifinal round of the Cullman County Baseball Tournament between the Fairview Aggies and the Cold Springs Eagles, winner to face the West Point Warriors later this evening here in Cold Springs, Alabama. A beautiful afternoon for baseball, and I believe it's going to be a beautiful night, clear, a little colder with a crescent moon, I expect. And I'll see what's going on in the concession stand here after this one is over. Our score, Fairview 10, Cold Springs 2. Got 1 out here in the top half of the 6th inning. And the visit to the bullpen.
Camden?
Camden, C-A-M-D-E-N.
The call has been made to the
Cullen?
bullpen.
C-U-L-L-E-N.
Oh, Cullen.
Camden
Okay.
Cullen.
What grade's he in? Okay.
An 8th grader, Camden
Yeah.
Cullen.
No wonder he's not on the roster.
He's ready to get out there and deal it now. Got a good-looking mop underneath that purple cap. and Mr. Cullen, after his warm-up tosses.
Well, kind of wondering about this. I mean, could be close to a pitch count as far as for the lefty. Also, possibly try to save him for maybe to get some batters to face. If everything holds out, West Point will be seeing Fairview in the championship game coming up a little bit later.
He'll face Brady Phillips. First pitch fouled off, 0-1 the count. Now, I heard you guys had quite a trail to get here to Cold Springs earlier, do that wreck you spoke of earlier, and I heard Junior had to ask for some help on the way back.
Did he?
Pitch low and away.
Well,
I don't know if Junior knew how to get back to Cold Springs. He said he saw somebody on the road there. He said, "Does this road go all the way back to Cullman?" The guy said, "I've been standing here all day, and this road hasn't gone anywhere yet." But he managed to find his way back to the studio.
well, I love JR, but I don't think he's traveled the entire distance like we did today of County Road 222. We got it in Good Hope, right there by Good Hope Primary School. I mean, well, that road at Good Hope Primary School leads to County Road 222 in Trimble. So we went through Trimble, Logan, Crane Hill, and Brushy Pond. I want to go home and Google about the distance from the start to the end of County Road 222 because I feel like we were on the road for an hour and 10 minutes.
JR doing his best Pascual Perez impersonation. Lost on his way to the ballpark. We got a 2-2 count. Camden Cullen.
Well, when he
thrown
stopped
about 4 pitches, we've seen a couple of foul pitches and a couple strikes.
Well, we and that was
Rings
strike
him up.
there.
A strikeout and sitting down is Brady Phillips from Camden Cullen, the 8th grader. His first batter he faces, strikes him out. His first strikeout of the inning. 2 outs now on the top of the 6th.
Well,
Please,
JR had to get gas. We stopped in Valley Grove as we were down old 69 before it runs into the lake. And then he says, Flash lead the way. So, I know this part of the area because this is where, anybody with the name of Spiegel is related to the Thornton family, especially if you live on the southwest part of the county. And, of course, I know about County Road 222. I know about Smith Lake RV Resort, Sandy Harrison, that place.
Cullen's first pitch to Matt Williams rings him up for a strike.
I never thought we were going to get here, and I started getting a little bit, worried. I mean, we got here around 1:30 to try to get set up.
Cullen's second pitch goes for a strike. Our count 1-1, 2 outs. And this one goes swinging. Matt Williams, the first baseman, took a bit of a lackadaisical swing on an off-speed pitch and now faces 1-2 from Cullen.
Well, JR must have lost his bearings of trying to get back to County Road 222 from Bremen.
Pitch from Cullen, looking for a breaking ball inside. Called a ball, 2-2 the count.
Once this is over, I may call the Alabama State Troopers to make sure that Highway 69 is open.
2-2 pitch from Cullen, high. Works the count full.
You didn't have to worry about that. You came from a different direction, and when you go home, you go, through 91?
Yeah, I came through Arkadelphia.
Okay. Yeah.
Back down the mountain around the deadly curve and back out around 291.
Well,
Pitch swung on, foul tip. Count will remain full with 2 outs.
I just hope the
on
driver
Cold
is
Springs,
okay
Matt
because
Williams.
all I was told by State Troopers, he hit a power pole. And that's all I've been able to find out.
Cullen's full count pitch to Turner, fouled back. A good at bat here, not Turner, from Matt Williams, the big left-hander. Steps back in to face the 8th grader, Camden Cullen. Cullen brings that knee high, throws a ball, and he'll walk Matt Williams. So Cold Springs, 1 on, 2 outs here in the top half of the 6th inning. The DH, Samuel Turner, up here for Cold Springs. Cold Springs looking for some offense here. 2 runs on the board so far in this game. First pitch, a ball from Cullen, and a short lead over at first for Matt Williams of Cold Springs. Cullen, nice pitch, low away on the outside, swung on and missed, and leaving the count at 1 apiece. Sun sinking over the left field pines, Johnny, making it a little more difficult to see as the afternoon goes along. Another swinging pitch. It's got to be a tough-looking breaking ball because that's 2 in a row.
Definitely.
That we've seen Turner chase after. Must look very hittable until it drops low and away. 1-2 the count, and here comes the pitch from Cullen. Rung him up, looking at it, and Samuel Turner will take a seat, and Cullen with another strikeout, 2 of them in the inning. Cold Springs will leave 1 on, score none, and we go to the bottom half of the 6th inning with the Fairview Aggies leading 10-2 over the Cold Springs Eagles. Will return with more of the Cullman County Baseball Tournament after this.
One might be tempted to say, "Excuse me, Mr. Grill Man, there appears to be a little extra burger on my burger." You're dang right there is. Everybody goes to Milo's.
Go to the bottom half of the 6th inning here in Cold Springs, Alabama. Fairview Aggies to the plate.
Fairview's got to do up this inning. They have York, Black, and Scott. Pitching change for Cold Springs. Josh Winfrey, the third baseman, now going on the mound.
Looks like Daniel Hostella may be stepping into pinch hit here. He was warming up right in front of us in the on-deck circle.
Yeah, it looks like he may be the first pinch hitter in the inning.
So it'll be Hostetler.
York, Black, and Scott are due up. It looks like Coach Dumas and his assistants are going to make a change.
Our score, Fairview 10, Cold Springs 2.
And as I said, Josh Winfrey in for relief for the Cold Spring Eagles, trying to take this game to the 7th. If the Aggies get 2 runs, this game will be over by the run rule, and we'll be probably within half an hour starting a championship game with the West Point Warriors and the Fairview Aggies. Not able to find out any more information about that accident. Other members of the media haven't posted anything on Twitter.
Stay tuned for more information on that, hopefully. But again, as you said, we certainly hope the driver was okay. And it was just one of those situations where it takes a while to get a semi-rig out. Hostetler steps in at the plate facing Winfrey. Winfrey's first pitch, a ball high and inside, and he'll go to work again here. Atwood, call strike over on the outside corner, 1-1.
All I can tell, Rich, was from where I was watching, and JR was in front of me by maybe 7 vehicles, that it was on the left side. We were going south on 69, right there by a county road. Couldn't see anything more. I just saw flashing blue lights.
Breaking ball pitch on the outside. Called ball, 2-1 now the count. Winfrey's 2-1 pitch. That one low and away. 3-1 now the count to Hostetler.
Well, and that just happened. Like I said, both of us, I think he left the station around 11:30. I left my apartment on the southwest side around 11:30. It was reported by the state troopers at 11:44 a.m.
2-1, 3-1 pitch to Hostetler. Call strike, now the count full from Winfrey.
But again, we hope the guy's okay. Look out.
Hostetler fouls one down toward the dugout on the first base side. Luckily, nobody's head was in the way. Might have been removed. Count remains full. No outs for Fairview here in the bottom half of the 6th.
Hostetler is a senior, and following him will be Gannon Black and Connor Scott.
Big right-hander Winfrey. 3-2 count. Deals to Hostetler and walks him. So got one on here and no outs for the Aggies. Aggies been very aggressive on the bases.
Well, they've scored 4 in the 5 innings so far. An opportunity, 2 runs here. This semifinal game goes in the books, and it'll be a rematch of last year's championship with the Aggies and the Warriors, this time in Cold Springs, Alabama.
Gannon Black to the plate. Hostetler at first gets a big lead, but it'll go back. First pitch, a ball, 1-0 the count to Black.
Well, Coach Springs has fought hard. Just Fairview got, I think, a few too many weapons.
1 for 3 in this game so far is Black. He's got a double. He's also popped out twice. I believe he also has a stolen base. Black faces a 1-0 count from Josh Winfrey. Been getting a decent lead. Is Hostetler over at first. Winfrey's pitch, low and outside. ball 2.
If my score sheet is correct, Reese, I got the I got the Aggies with 3 extra base hits, 2 doubles and a triple.
Big right-hander Winfrey looks for his call. Fastball high. Ball 3. 3-0 the count. Gannon Black steps in. Working quickly is Winfrey. That one right down Broadway for a called strike. 3-1. Now to Gannon Black.
The 3 extra base hits for the Aggies have led to 6 runs batted in.
Winfrey's 3-1 pitch. Call strike. Now that count is full. So 3-2 with a runner on. And here's Winfrey. Throws over to first. Not in time. Good job over there by Big Daniel Hostetler getting down, getting his hand on the base. He's safe. Winfrey works from the stretch, takes the sign, pitch on the way, runner going, but it's a ball. So a base on balls there for Gannon Black. No outs, 2 runners on for Fairview's Connor Scott. The second baseman has been hit by a pitch, walked at least in this game.
He's got a couple of hits and a couple of runs scored.
So he's
Then it just called a balk.
and that will advance the runners from first and second to second and third. So Hostetler on third, Black on second, no outs for the hitter, Connor Scott. Second pitch of the at-bat, another ball, 2-0 the count.
A hit here, 2 runs in. Fairview Aggies have about half an hour to get ready to play West Point for the championship.
Winfrey's 2-0 pitch, high, 3-0 now the count.
Second time in the game, a balk called.
Winfrey's pitch, inside. That's actually ball 3. So 3-0 the count to Fairview's Connor Scott. Scott, the left-handed second baseman, steps back in. The pitch from Winfrey. Call strike, and 3-1 the count. Here's the 3-1 pitch, another walk. And he'll walk the bases loaded for Carson Jones for the Fairview Aggies. The right fielder, left-handed batter steps in, looking for some more insurance. His team leading 10-2 here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Jones moves out of the way of that one. Ball called inside at plate.
Well, you the Aggies, you want to put it away here, and especially an opportunity. Let the guy swing away, but it's got to be something good to drive.
Winfrey's pitch, foul tip, evens the count at 1-1.
Made contact with it.
Still no outs. Looks like we've got another
Yeah, we got a pinch hitter waiting on deck.
on deck, number 30
Yeah,
for the Aggies.
His name is James Griffin.
1-1 pitch to Jones. Hit to second, lost by the second baseman. Picks it up, throws it to first. Lost by the first baseman. 1 run will score, now 2. It'll move the runner from first over to third. So 2 runs score, 12-2.
Ball game.
And those 10 runs will be the ball game, as Johnny Thornton said. Jones hit it right to second base. Second baseman made a good stop. Couldn't gather it in and throw the first, not handled by the first baseman. The 2 runs scored, and that is the ball game. The Fairview Aggies win it in the bottom half of the 6th inning by sake of the mercy rule. They win by 10 runs, 12-2 on 10 hits and 1 error. They scored 3 runs in the first, 1 in the second, 2 in the third, 4 in the 5th, and 2 in the bottom half of the 6th Again, that's 10 hits and 1 error. Cold Springs Eagles, the Cold Springs Eagles muster up 2 runs, 1 coming in the first, 1 in the 5th, 7 hits and 2 errors for the Eagles. So the Fairview Aggies will go on to face the West Point Warriors for the Cullman County Baseball Tournament coming up later here this afternoon from Cold Springs, Alabama. Johnny Thornton?
GameDayWiggly.com, time of the game, 1 hour 47 minutes. We're at 6:30, so half an hour away from presenting the 2023 Cullman County Baseball Championship. The 1 seed defending champion West Point Warriors, the 2 seed the Fairview Aggies. Unless Rich Jesse has anything else to say, I think we'll take a break so we can relax and get ready and come back and do a championship game under the lights here at Donald Freeman Field in Cold Springs, Alabama.
Ready for some more baseball, and certainly been a good time being on the air with you, Flash, and we're looking forward to all you folks joining us here for the final in just a bit.